Hello, this is Jorge Herrera, and we are continuing with the reading of the book Building Your Warehouse of Wealth, written by Nelson Nash. And we are on chapter 9, and this is part 2 because this is part 2 because it's a long chapter. So for that reason, I'm switching it in 2 or 3 parts, or I'm splitting it in 2 or 3 parts. So this is part 2. In part 1, we read that Nelson is not too fond of the variables of permanent life insurance like universal life, variable life, and index universal life. And there are reasons for that. And we talk about 10 reasons in the first part, but we just named them. Now we're going to go in detail on each one of the 10 parts, starting with number 10. So number 10 says this: internal administration fees charged against cash value on any type of universal life policy and shown on illustrations are run on their current expense levels, but those can change at the discretion of the company. Since the insurance company uses this money to run its operations, as prices of office supplies and real estate go up, they may choose to adjust this internal cost after you have bought the policy. That's not good. Number 9, mortality charges, what the insurance company charges for the death benefit, are removed from the cash value or paid by premiums. In universal life, this pay for annually increasing term insurance cost. This is true for any type of universal life, no matter what the side funnel, no matter what the side fund is invested in. The cost for this 1 year term insurance can be changed at any time. Hmm. Number 8, market drops affect the side fund negatively no matter what the side fund is invested in. Since the death benefit is comprised of the 1 year or annually increasing term insurance plus the side fund, any market drop causes double pain. Markets can drop regardless of whether they are supported by stocks or money markets. When the side fund is reduced by a drop in the market or current interest rates, it now has less value, so more term insurance must be bought to make up the difference, which further reduces the side fund. Consequently, you have double pain, less cash value, and higher cost. 7. Any late premiums remove any guarantees in the policy in most universal life policies. Even if the premium is finally paid, once it is late, the insurance company is off the hook for supporting any guaranteed premiums. Cash value amounts, any guaranteed premiums, cash value amounts, or death benefits. In many cases, the insurance may not even know that a premium, the insured may not even know that a premium was late and that the guarantees have been forfeited. Think about the time frame of a 50-year policy paid monthly, 600 payments. Ask yourself what's the likelihood what the likelihood is of a mistake being made by the premium payer, their bank, the post office, the insurance company clerks, or anyone else along the way. Number 6, and um, this is only pertinent to equity index universal life policies, they provide the policyholder no credit for any dividends from the stocks making up the index. The siphon of an equity index universal life isn't actually invested in the index. The siphon of an equity, instead, the index is used to determine the gross crediting rate for the siphon. If money were actually invested in the index, the investor would get both the change in the net asset value, whether up or down, and the dividend income. However, in the case of equity index universal life, only the change in value of the index is the determining factor, and the dividend is left out of the calculation entirely. Number fifth is also unique of equity index universal life. Participation participation ratios are often less than 100%. As mentioned directly above, the side fund is not invested directly in the index, and many insurance companies only credit a certain percentage of the increase in the market. Known as the participation ratio, this is often reported as 80% or less, meaning you are getting only 80% of the increase in the market. Number four is also unique of equity index universal life. Capping returns in order to keep high returns in the market from crediting too much to the side fund is a strategy many insurance companies use. The maximum return they'll give credit for may be at a certain percentage rate, even though the index may have generated a higher percentage ratio or a higher percentage rate. Number three, that is also only affecting equity index universal life. Guaranteed minimum returns are not always calculated annually. Most equity index universal life policies have a guaranteed minimum return so that if the index drops below this rate, the insurance company will still credit at the guaranteed minimum rate. However, with some policies, this guarantee is not applied annually, but instead over an indexing period, which could be 5 to 10 years. So you could have negative years in the index below the guaranteed minimum rate, which would be applied to the side fund. This would cause a further reduction of value in excess of the guaranteed minimum rate in one particular year, and as long as the overall average rate for the entire indexing period is no less than the guaranteed minimum rate, this would still count as meeting the minimum. For example, if the minimum guarantee rate is 2% inside a 5-year indexing period, you could have crediting rates of plus 13, minus 10, plus 10, minus 8, and 9%, which would validate the promise guarantee because it would average more than 2% per year over the 5 years. The implication is that you cannot have a negative return, but as shown in the example below, you can have a negative return as long the guaranteed is not calculated annually. You'll notice another example below of the same interest rate, but with 100% of existing value instead of 10,000 per year of cash flow into the account. So let me see. if I can get um, the cash flow, so that would be in here. Let me check. So that would be the downloads. Chapter 9, page 7 and 9. That's what I need. Okay, so I'm gonna look at this. Share the screen. Here, share. Okay. Hmm. Let me see if I can improve this. Same. So see. So this. There it goes. That's better now. So let me show you this. What am I doing this here now? This is registry. Oh, wow. Okay, here I go again. So that would be entire screen, but it would be this one, share. There it goes. Now you can see that. So, and I don't know if I can do um, probably. So if I can do hmm, maximizing. There it goes. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, this is the example of the 5 years where you have 13% positive, then 10 negative, then 10 positive, then 8 negative, and then 9 positive, and you get an average of 2.8%, which allows the company to say that the side fund doesn't go below 2%. But you can see that on year two and on year four, we have a big fall. So that's it. So um, now number two, It says that at the discretion of the company, any of the above factors can be changed at any time for the benefit of the company, even after the policy has started. This is really one of the scariest aspects of all type of universal life. There is no way to calculate what the outcome might be. Even if you analyze the policy under the current structure and found it to be a viable tool, future changes could cause future problems. Number one, whereas typically the point of all insurance purchased is to shift the risk from the insured to the company. All types of universal life shift the risk backwards or from the insurance company to the insured. So, do you really want that? And many proponents of index universal life, they say that if you design the policy properly, that you will not get the um, part where the policy goes below the minimum guarantee rate, which in most cases is now actually 0%. But if they can shift the risk, if the company can shift the risk to the insured, that's certainly no good. So that's why we, the proponents of dividend paying whole life insurance contracts, only use those for the practice of infinite banking. And that's how Nelson taught it and is validated by the research and analysis of Todd Langford, the owner of Truth Concept, who lives in Mount Enterprise, Texas. So I hope this part, because I'm using this as part two of chapter 9, and we will finish the chapter next Monday. So for um, thank you for joining, and I will see you next time. I will see you Friday with part two in Spanish, and next Monday with part three in English.